Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
AI. Of course, I have to start there, right? AI is everywhere. Every vendor, every keynote, every roadmap. It all starts with AI. And it's easy to get excited about what you can do with AI. But the harder question, is your organization ready to use AI? And this question is specifically interesting in the automotive industry. I have 3 leaders here and want to ask them some questions, but really there's no pause button, right? For these guys to get their data in check. They have to continue to run their organizations while getting ready for AI. And I really want to know what it takes to build those foundations. So as you know, we have Jim, Brian, and Mark. What I want to do is have a quick level set with each of you. In the last 18 to 24 months, what is the single biggest data problem slowing down your business? And what did it cost you? Jim, we'll start with you.
Yeah, sure. Do I get all 20 minutes to answer the question? So, no, what it was the, the state of our vendors and our DMS providers, right, our dealer management systems. And when I say the state of them, I don't mean that it was their fault. It was really our fault. But we just didn't have a system, right, where we could get the data, where we could access the data, and we could have that stream of data running. So we created it, right, and then all of a sudden we buy a CDP and want to build Snowflake, and we expect them to do a 180, right, to all of a sudden stream data to us via API. So that's the state. So that's really what slowed us down. And obviously what it cost us, right, is money. I mean, with our marketing spends, I mean, we were, Mike had mentioned it in his talk about batch stuff, right? I mean, we were built on batch, right, the automotive industry. So that was costing us, we're spending money ineffectively because we were expecting results from old data, right? So that's what it cost us.
Interesting. Brian, same question to you.
For us, it was trying to really connect the data across all the different platforms. We have over 200 websites, and trying to make everything seamless across those websites was a really difficult task. And then managing the CRM and connecting the website data with the CRM. What it cost us was speed and also time, where we spent a lot of time just reconciling and making sure the data was consistent and accurate, and answering those questions to the executives, because the inconsistencies sometimes we'll see, it take a lot of time to resolve those inconsistencies.
Yeah, interesting. So in addition to just cost, it does cost you time, right, and energy. Mark?
Yeah, similar. Our data was very siloed, so we had to spend a lot of time consolidating everything, building our data model. The other part of that is it led to poor customer experience. So we had different marketing systems, emailing our customers, and a different one texting our customers, and they're not talking to each other. So our customers were just getting bombarded with messages all the time.
How were you able to help have those speak to one another?
That's where Tealium comes in. So we built our data models. We incorporated call data, we incorporated transaction data, CRM data, all of our different marketing tools, and then Tealium stitches everything together, goes into a marketing automation platform, and we can put limits on how often or how many times we contact the person.
Oh, I love that. That's great. Jim, when you set out to build your data foundation, how did you sequence it? Was there an order, or did you have to get something right first?
Yeah, there's obviously a lot we had to get right first, right? We had to work on extracting our DMS data in the cleansing process, right? But that's kind of, figured that piece out a while ago. And then it was just working with the vendors, right? So, we were kind of breaking the mold by trying to get data in this fashion, right? So fortunately, we came across, Tom Moore decided to go with Tealium, and we started going down this adventure with building the CDP. So we started getting vendors on board, and then Varman Auto Group, they helped a lot with that by breaking the mold and leaving the automotive industry, hiring a world-class CDP like Tealium to do a lot of the stuff, right? So it helped us a lot to, move that data forward, right? So we could get CRM data into the CDP via API, call review data into the CDP via API. So, it was step by step.
When you mentioned breaking the mold, really stepping outside just pure automotive, was there any internal resistance to that originally?
There was, it took, it was a pretty bold move by our CO to, go to Tealium and start using them for the CDP. It was I'm sure he felt more of the resistance than I did, right? So, but there was definitely resistance, but I mean, now I think our C-suite looks at him and says he's brilliant for positioning us where we are today.
I love it. That's great to hear. And Brian, moving on, once you guys got your data in place and you had that foundation from AutoNation, how did you change what you could actually deliver to the business? Did you see any before and after getting that foundation in place?
Oh, definitely. We could understand the customer journey a lot better and faster. The insights were, and the speed to insights, be able to create our dashboards, be able to produce information for the executive team, teams asking questions. It's relentless, the amount of data we had available, but to be able to put it together, tell stories, action, marketing, used for marketing purposes. It's been unbelievable how fast we're able to move. And it's almost spoiling the organization, because now that they know that information is available, they just keep coming and asking for more and more.
So you're the go-to guy in team for that?
Yeah, we have a very small, lean and mean team as well, I like to call them. So we're very small and agile, and we try to produce as much as we can. The organizations understood that, and they providing us with more resources to be able to deliver more of this information out to the teams.
Oh, love it. And in addition to speed, is there anything that's possible today that wasn't possible prior to having that foundation in place?
Yeah, it's really the insights. It's really connecting that journey from point A all the way through the CRM. We weren't able to do that cleanly, and it built a level of trust. I felt a lot of times the trust wasn't always there, and now that we're able to have consistent, reliable data, the trust factor has really changed a lot, especially for my team. There were a lot of questions early on, and now that we're able to provide that trust factor, everything has changed. And so now that's why people come to us. They trust information. They rely on us to provide information. So we're just like that trust unit that everyone comes to and deliver answers.
Trust, number one. I love it. That's amazing. And Mark, how did you guys balance showing results quickly too? So going off of what Brian mentioned, a lot of it's around speed. And I believe you guys had some similar examples as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we even signed up with Tealium, we spent a lot of time researching, talking to different CDP users, and then after we signed up, we spent a lot of time with the Tealium team to understand what are the use cases and how we should be prioritizing so we can have some quick and impactful wins. So we were able to do that. Two of the ones that stand out are all the customer lifecycle automation and the audience suppression. So that gave our leadership team confidence in the project and gave us time to work on some of the longer term value plays.
And with those longer term value plays, are you able to show measurement or KPIs or anything around that?
Yeah, it's dealing with web analytics and whatnot can sometimes be challenging, but the Tealium team's been super supportive in helping us with their digital strategies team and helping us identify the use cases and set benchmarks and baselines and be able to measure what some of those successes look like and the impact that we're having.
And I know when I first came up here, the first thing I said was AI, right? And the question I want for all three of you to answer is, really, you went through laying the foundation. What did that help do for any type of AI initiatives? And if you have any specific examples, that would be great.
Yeah, so for us, I'm sure you're asking me.
Sure, yeah.
So for us, laying the foundation obviously is critical, right? But what some of the wins that we're getting now with the AI is, we use DriveCentric for our CRM, and they're probably one of the first auto CRMs now that can push data into our CRM, or excuse me, into our CDP, and now we can also push a lead or a customer record into the CRM. So what it gives us the ability to do is things like data ups, right, which are, customers that might be abandoning tools or different things like that. We can now push that data into the CRM as opposed to sending like an ADF XML email, which is, you're limited to the data that you can put into the CRM by doing it. So now with the new API, we'll be able to include more information. For example, like call sentiment and call information. So we can use that in the CRM where we were never able to push it. So, and then, some of the other future use cases would be, a customer calls in and he says that he's had a bad experience with the store, right? And so we can create a customer record in the CRM for, let's say, the general manager of the store to view that, right? So those are some new things that, because of the way we have the information structured, and we can use AI to act upon those records coming into the CRM.
And do you see that leading to measurable results down the road?
Definitely. I mean, it's, we do measure data ups already, right? So we measure sales off of data ups. The thing with data ups is it's something new that people in the CRM aren't really typically used to dealing with, right? So what the change is going to be with it coming in as a customer record as opposed to a lead. As it coming in as a customer record, the AI in DriveCentric is going to act upon that coming in, right? So it won't be touched by a human being. It's going to have like a work plan for 14 days. And if at any point customer responds, then it'll fire off like an internet lead, right? But until then, it'll just stay as a customer record. And then from there, it'll turn over to a long-term marketing follow-up after, that 14-day AI. And then, but yeah, definitely having, we can see a lot of sales growth from our VDPs, and we're, measuring all the data ups is definitely proving to be very valuable.
That's amazing. It seems like it's really powering that data up type of program then. And Brian, same question for you around just that foundation and how it could potentially be enabling AI within AutoNation.
I think for us, it's just having constant and consistent data. We weren't able to have that before, and I think with the AI models, you have to have that. And to be able to plug it in and know the consistency's there, the content is there, and it's not going to change. And so the model's able to read it and understand it a lot efficiently and quicker. We're already thinking of some use cases that we're going to be using in the future, so there's some opportunities there.
Are any of those use cases something you're able to share just so that everyone here could kind of get a sense or an idea of how that could be leveraged?
Sure. Like where we're brainstorming is like we have numerous insights that come on like our VDPs. Mm-hmm. We understand the customer, we understand their journey, they understand where they're coming from. But how can we take those insights and pass that information on to the sales teams? Can we send that information with the lead so they know, hey, what models they were looking at, whether they were cross-brand shopping, what were they doing prior to the lead being submitted, and that information going to the salesman, and they have that information in their hands.
Oh, that's powerful. That's great. Mark, same question from the AutoCanada stand.
Yeah. Going back to what Mike was saying before, we want to try and build this customer 360 view. We spent a lot of time organizing our data. We're not there yet. We're not at 360 degrees. I don't know if we're at 120 or 180. We're probably somewhere over there. But that's where a lot of our effort is, and we're looking forward to start using that information to give context to AI and try to enhance our messaging. We're augmenting the data that we have on our customers with demographics data, do some website personalization. So the road ahead is very exciting for us.
Yeah, and when you mention Customer 360, that gets thrown around a lot, right, from a marketing standpoint. But it is true. You have data living everywhere. And when you guys were just walking through some of what you're building, that foundation, it starts at that level. Where does the data reside today? How can we connect it? And that's very interesting because as you mentioned, and even going back, Brian, to your point, you have to have good data for these models. A lot of times we skip ahead, go right to the AI type of initiatives without first having the foundation in place. It's really interesting to me just hearing all three of your answers. Really, that's my takeaway is kind of hearing the similarities and all of your core, like looking directly for that foundation before moving forward. Just seeing the time here, one last question. If you could each give one piece of advice to maybe somebody who's at the very beginning of their journey. They hear about AI, but they don't know where to start or what to do. And we'll start with you again, Jim, but if you could just give one piece of advice, what would it be?
Yeah, sure. I think it's important for dealer groups to have a person that not only understands data, but understands the automotive data. A lot of the AI initiatives are, that requires, being obviously having a data background, right? Or having people in the store that have a data background or having good vendors that can help provide that assistance. But to really extract all of the value out of it, right? You have to really understand, because there's a lot of data in automotive.
Oh, yes.
There's a lot of nuances to that data, and you really have to understand it to extract the data out of it. So I would say, invest in having a person that can be in, that's their job, right? To help understand that data and help you extract information from that data.
And I believe that's exactly what Morgan brought you in originally for, right?
Most likely, yes.
Absolutely. Ryan, what would your piece of advice be?
I think you have to make sure that you're structured correctly. AI is going to give you the insights, give you the information, but a lot of times, like the teams aren't structured in a way that they can action upon those insights. I think that's relatively important. I think everyone wants to move fast, but take a step back and make sure that you have the right structure in place, the right processes, right tools in place. And I think you can move a lot faster and be more efficient with your time.
I'm definitely sensing a theme with your answers around speed, fast, and efficiency. I love it. Mark, if you had one piece of advice?
I would say don't be intimidated and trust the process. It can take some time to set everything up and start seeing the results, but I like to compare it to the analogy I use with our team is it's like building a fountain. There's a lot of plumbing that needs to go into place before you see the final product and start seeing the water flowing.
I love that analogy because you could have a great fountain, but if there's no water or it's not connected, there's nothing beautiful to see. So I know we're close to time, and really AI might be the headline. But as you can see, the real story is data foundation. Anything that I took away from a lot of these answers, it's really a lot of organizations are chasing that new AI tech, but you can't get there without laying that foundation, starting from square one and having the pipes before you have that beautiful fountain. So I just wanted to thank each one of you for coming up here with me and thank you all for your time today.
Thank you.